What's up guys, Michael Fave, Olympia Fitness and Performance, on the same topic of using different drills to assess whether or not you think someone's at risk for an ACL injury. Once again, I got Brandon here with me. We just worked on some box jumps. That's a good drill to do. Using a more sport-specific movement that we do a lot in here are bounding variations. So, like I mentioned, these are a little bit more sport-specific. We're gonna land on one leg, we're gonna jump off one leg. There's tons of ways we can do this, but for the sake of assessing whether or not you think somebody's at risk for an ACL injury, I'm going to program it a little bit differently, and my cues on directions are going to be a little bit differently. But once again, I'm going to pretend Brandon is a brand new athlete. This is his first day, and I'm just going through my movement screen. So with a linear bound, linear meaning we're going directly forward, we're going to jump off one leg, we're going to land on the opposite leg, and I'm going to instruct him. Well, if he's on day one, I'm going to pretend, I'm not going to give him much direction. I just want to see how he does it naturally. But when we coach it, you know, we have all these cues for how to do it efficiently and effectively. But I'm going to have Brandon show us what good form looks like, because he does these all the time. He plays soccer, he knows what he's doing. Yep, and I'm going to have you kind of land on the heels, soft, quiet bang. Let me see 2 in a row. Good. Okay. So when we have someone do that on day one, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be that smooth and effective. Once again, we're looking for a soft, quiet landing, and I'm looking at what that knee is doing particularly. One, I'm looking at, does he softly absorb it and it's not very loud. I'll have you show like what a not so soft block one is. So you can hear that one again. Very common in the young athlete who doesn't really know how to land properly. And then another one, I'm looking at that knee angle. Is it landing on a good knee over toe alignment, or is there any kind of excessive inward curve of that knee? That's a common one we see. And then you also saw when he landed, I know he's demonstrating bad form on purpose, but when he landed, his foot kind of did that extra wiggle. So that kind of tells me that, you know, that it could be a balance issue. Another thing, now I'm going to have him go lateral now, so I'll have him kind of turn, face this way. I'll be right here. Lateral bounce is a good one because sports like soccer, basketball, volleyball, whatever, we're constantly moving in a lateral or diagonal kind of plane of movement. We're not always going directly front to back, so it wouldn't make sense to only train in that plane. So I'm going to have Brandon do a lateral bound, and I'm going to have him freeze when he lands. So you notice upper body was in a good position at first. You know, the center of gravity was in a good spot. He absorbed it pretty well. Have you do another one and then freeze. Okay. Almost lost it again. I'll have you do one more and jump as far as you can and then it's freeze it. Okay. Good. So that's common what we see. Brandon still did a pretty good job with that. That knee was in a good angle. What I look for there, imagine I just landed, is that knee really buckling in. That's a red flag, something we want to train our athletes to get out of that habit. And also the upper body. You know, we tend to see that excessive forward flexion, or we might see that extra hop where they can't really absorb that side-to-side movement. So those are just some quick examples of some things that we look for. Hope you found that helpful, and plenty of other ways we can